welcome to Gulfstream today, and welcome to Gulfstream Park Ron Nicoletti, along with my buddy Pete Aiello. We have an 11-race card on tap for you this afternoon. We got a fast main track, a firm turf course, and a little bit of a warmer day than we've had over the last few.
Yeah, they said I brought the warm weather from South Florida to Oaklawn. Now I'm bringing the warm weather back to South Florida. But it's a good day for racing, and weather-wise, it is perfect. It's a little warm, but fast track and a firm turf course.
Oh, yeah, I mean, it's going to be a lot of fun. Let's show you our wagers that we can offer you this afternoon on multiple race wagers, and we're going to start it off, of course, each and every day in the early first race with the early pick 5. A 50-cent wager the first 5 races. The rolling super high fives today start in race number 3, and every time there's 7 or more runners, there will be a rolling super high 5 wager in that particular race. The Rainbow Six starting to get interesting. Starts in race number 6 today. Remember that, because it's the first time we've had an 11-race card in a while, over the last week or so. Almost $72,000 in that pool. You know it's going to be well over $100,000. And we end the day each and every day with the late pick 5, races 7 through 11 this afternoon, a 50-cent wager. And Pete, a lot of good racing yesterday. They hit the Rainbow Six, not the single ticket, but the 6 out of 6 paid over $2,000. It's a great wager, even if you don't get that one unique ticket.
And the late pick 5 yesterday was good for almost over $1,800 for a 50-cent play, keyed off by Ronnie's long shot play of the day in the final race of the day.
Yeah, we've been lucky with that the last few days. They bet it down. We went off at 4-1. It was 8-1 on the morning line, so they bet it down. We did have a scratch or 2 in there.
Yeah, but as my friend in Cincinnati says, if you found $10 on the ground, would you pick it up or walk past it?
I would pick it up, without a doubt. I would pick it up. And so his friend in Cincinnati told him. The guy in Brooklyn could have told you the same thing. Let's go to race number 1 today. As we mentioned, the first race, the main track is fast. The turf course is firm. This is on the turf. 1 mile on the turf. Claim is fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up. Non-winners of 3 races in life or a turf race in 6 months. Remember that, because I'm going to go back to that. Or 3-year-olds, $16,000. I'm going to start it off in here with Great Cross. The only 5-time winner in the field who fits the non-winners of a turf race in 6 months condition perfectly in this race. Look at the last time this horse won at Indiana Ground on the turf course, October 15th. Just eligible by, 6 days or something like that. So fits the condition, the only 5-time winner in the field. So Great Cross. I love the way Peter Walder read the condition book in here and fits this race perfectly.
And I like the other Peter Walder horse, although your logic is absolutely rock solid on the number 1 horse in here. Makes me wonder if the horse I like isn't just helping fill the race here with number 2, So Royal. But pace makes the race. There's certainly truth to that statement. And number 7, Angora, goes out for a repeat win this afternoon. But she's going to have a little bit of pace pressure, not much, from the 2, So Royal. So Royal will get first run on the speed, and I think the speed will be a little softer than it was last time for both the 2 and the 7. And the jockey today on number 2, So Royal, is Edgar Zayas. So second start of the form cycle, switch to a high percentage rider for a high percentage outfit, and 7-1. I'll go for the other Walder in the first.
You know the old adage of the longer price of the uncoupled entry. We'll see who does go favorite in there. Number 7, Angora, stepping up the competition after using her speed to defeat 10-2 lifetime claimers. You mentioned his horse going 7.5. Ronnie Warren is the trainer. Drilled some speed into. He worked a half-mile bullet in 46-2. So it looks like their plan for this horse is to be on or near the lead.
Yeah, and she'll get the lead. It just matter how fast she has to pay the toll to do it. But she'll be the one to catch in here. I hope she folds up shop, though, as I don't have her in my top 3.
Well, what about the 5? Love That Kelly.
Number 5, Love That Kelly, coming out for trainer Paul Kopaj. We saw yesterday, or actually 2 days ago, we were looking at races featuring Big and Toasty and Done One. Neither one of those 2 horses would be odds on in here. She's coming out of those races. She was a good 4th 2 starts ago behind repeat winner Ladies Lunar Luck. I think from a class standpoint, again, especially here this time of year, sometimes the class drops are magnified by the company lines from race to race.
Yeah, we'll see how that first race plays out. And it's always good to watch the first race and see just how the turf course is playing. If the horse is coming from off the pace, you got to watch a few of those races before you make any kind of decision today. Second race, 5.5 furlongs, fast main track. Claimers, fillies and mares, 3 and up. Non-winners of 2 races in life, 6,250. Scratch the number 4, Mucho Media.
Hard to have a strong opinion in here, just a field of 5. If we could ask Billy Badgett for his opinion on the race, we certainly would. He's standing here with very much bated breath, trying to figure out who we like in the start of the early pick 4. 5.5 furlongs of the journey, non-winners are 2 the category. We have horses that are trying to break through for that elusive second victory. I'll go with the 5, Cherise Win on top. I think she can stay close enough to the action to play part of this, but I also think that she does have a little bit of kick, which some of the contenders in this race have not shown that they have.
Well, I went with the 6 Lady Nurse, turning back to 5.5 after tracking, I thought, a slow early pace last time out, finishing second, beating 3/4 of a length. This level of competition that was going 3/4 of a mile off that performance, thought it was the one to beat. Did not use your 5 in there, and I know it's second choice on the morning line, but we both had some interest in the number 2, Loyal Heart, who's dropping to this level today after following her 12-5 maiden victory, comes back and goes up, pressed the pace. Weekends finished 6th in that race. That was at the $16,000 level, but it was against winners.
Yeah, here's the thing about this race. You have the 2, 3, and 6 who all do their best work on or near the lead. If you're one of the jockeys on one of those horses, you might want to try to get cute and just send some more. So what if you have to pay a big toll for the opening quarter? There won't be anything behind you to run you down, with the exception of maybe Cherise Win. So it'll be interesting to see if Zayas or Jaramillo get aggressive on the 2 and 3 and try to outsprint the other one. If that happens, whoever is outsprinted has no chance.
Well, let's go to the third race and go back to the turf course. 5 furlongs, claim is 4 and up, $10,000. We do have one jockey change, one important here. It's the number 5, Super See Me, make the runner Carlos Lugo. I'm going to start it off in here first, Pete, with Noble Prince, who's dropping to this 10 level. After encountering trouble, I want to go back and show you a performance from this horse. I'm going to show the head-on first over here, and it gets bumped around, or actually causes the bump in here. You'll just see it here with the 3 horse. Comes out, bumps, bing, bong, boom, comes around. And then we're going to switch it to the stretch run in here. And watch this when the horse gets to the stretch. He's got to steady a few times. You'll see when he's turning for home, Noble Prince. He's on the lead there, but he gets sort of swallowed up and has to steady once okay and once pretty sharply as the race comes up. He's between horses right now, and here he goes, putting the brakes on. There he goes, putting them on again. So he, just did it, steadying again. So I thought of that performance. I wanted to go back and show it. And number 1 now today, Noble Prince, was the 3 then on top of my ticket.
I can guarantee you one thing. He's never been in for $10,000 in his life. He was previously trained by Joe Calciabetta for a lot of seasons here at Gulfstream Park. Noble Prince, very reliable and very fast. I didn't like that backtrack, though. He looked like he was backing up and checked just because he was backing up, as you said. Now, we were talking off camera. Right. I called an audible right before we came on the air here as I spotted something I didn't notice, and that's on number 4, Cupid's Hit. There's a lot to like here on this horse, and the price will be one of those things you like. Let's take a look at his form last time out. It was ugly, right? Yeah, it's okay. But it was also on dirt. It was also his South Florida debut, and he also broke in the air. But what makes you think that he'll run good on the grass? Oh, just those 3 victories at Louisiana Downs last summer, going 5 furlongs on the turf course. So the last of the last 4 times this horse has sprinted on the grass, he's won 3 of 4. He was claimed out of his last race, which he had to need, and now we get a rider switch to Gaff Leone and a big price. I got 3 words for you, Ronnie. What? Sign me up.
Sign me up. Okay, that's 3 words. Number 5, Super See Me, 4th behind Noble Prince on March 26th, renews the rivalry at this level after dueling for lead, finishing 3rd against 12-5. Claimers going 5 furlongs last time out, a horse that you have in second on your ticket.
He was the horse that was on top of my ticket before the rider switch and before I saw the form on Cupid's Hit, going 5/8 on the grass. I think he's the horse that will have to tackle Noble Prince in the early stages. Make no mistake about it, if Noble Prince clears from an inside gate against $10,000 claimers, he'll be double tough.
One other horse I wanted to talk about, and he was the 6 Matar, who's dropping after returning from a 10-week freshening to run a troubled 6th. He was bumped at the start in a race. That was in that same race we just showed you with Noble Prince and Super See Me. I'm going to show you a stat about a trainer, Wesley Ward. Over the last 5 years, his second starter for layoff on the turf in sprints. He's 28 for 116. He's a 24% win average. That's pretty good. He's in the money 52% of the time, and all the horses he starts still has a $2.16 ROI. That's second off the layoff in turf sprints in the past 5 years.
That is an interesting statistic, just from the standpoint that you're looking at a flat bet profit with a trainer that is not known for doing that type of stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So I just thought we'd show that out to you. Let's go to race number 4 this afternoon. 5.5 furlongs. Claim is 3 and up. Non-winners of 3 in life, $6,250. Clean slate, no scratches or jockey changes, and a very rare occurrence. Pete and I have the same horse on top, and that is the number 5, Pure Talent.
Yeah, this is a big caveat here. If Pure Talent can run the race he ran last time, he will win. That's a fact. But will he be able to do that? That's a big question, because this horse is somewhat of an all-or-nothing proposition. Either he runs lights out and performs very well, or he's absolutely nowhere. If you're jockey John Cruz, who's taking over for Carlos Hernandez, who's actually left us to go north to Keeneland, if you're John Cruz and you're looking at the form like we are, the only horse that can keep a pace with you early or late is the 3 off-duty. So if I'm the rider, take it to him early and then not worry about anybody else. Just like in a race earlier, if you know what's behind you is inferior to you, just get in front.
Yeah, and well, you mentioned the number 3 off-duty was beating the neck on the main track at this 3 lifetime level. 2 starts back, goes back to the dirt today, set the pace, weakened. That was 12-5, 3 lifetime claimers going a mile in his 16th on the turf. It's the old turf to dirt move, cutting back to a sprint distance. See how that horse runs well in there. We both used the number 2, Jaden's Best.
Yeah, have you ever seen the movie The Long Shot starring Tim Conway, the best horse racing movie of all time?
Yeah, of course.
I am making a handicapping segue to this, by the way. I'll get there in a second.
Right.
During the first part of that film, they're teasing a guy for wanting to bet on a horse who needs total recall.
Right.
That's the case with Jaden's Best. We're trying to bank on the fact that he returns back to his form on his best stuff. He's an easy winner. He has not given his best stuff in just a few months, so we'll see if he can return to his regular form.
The best thing I remember at the movie is the groom wearing this 2 left-handed shoes. Yeah. That was my favorite thing in the whole movie, just to throw that out there.
They don't give you the rights in the samples.
Anything else in race number 4 before we flip the page?
No, we get to flip the page to my best bet on the program, the 5th race on the card. Non-winners are 2 the category, $12,500 the claiming level, 5 furlongs over the turf course. That's right, this is my best bet of the day, and that's right, Ronnie and I are using 3 entirely different horses. I'm licking my chops. I love it when this happens. I love the 3 horse here, fans. Number 3, Get a Room, my best bet of the day at 4-1. He comes out of a race at Tampa behind repeat winner Sultry Town Cat. Sultry Town Cat came back to beat a better field in her next race than she did when she beat Get a Room, who had to need that race. Get a Room has been on turf once. It was an easy victory, and oh, by the way, it was on this turf course.
And just a note for everybody out there, the rail setting for this particular race is 24 feet. There was a and program is wrong, so mark that down, 24 feet. Then scratch in there of the 7, Rosa Mestica. I did go with the number 1, Pelagia, going from the rail after breaking from the outside. Post 9 last time out, went up and set really swift early fraction, gave way late, finished 5th against 16 2 lifetime runners at the distance. She's the inside speed. She's going. Edgar Zayas, forget about it.
Well, we're not going to forget about it. You're right about that, though. She will be in front, and then they'll get to about the 8th pole, and you'll hear Gabe Pruitt saying, here comes Get a Room down the outside.
Moonlit Sonnet, my second horse in here, dropping to this level, turning back to 5 panels, looking to sit that stalking trip behind what should be, as we just mentioned, a solid early pace scenario. Previous winner at the distance, Tyler Gaffalione, handling the turn back. I thought this was the horse that was going to sit the trip in there, the 6 horse, more than what you did. But the 6, I'm looking down at the morning line favorite. I don't know about that, but I just thought the 6 would sit a nice trip in here.
If you're trainer Joe Orsino, you're certainly happy to look at the past performance lines with this. I think this has got to be somewhat of an experiment for Moonlit Sonnet, because when she raced 2 turns, she showed no speed of any kind. You can almost appreciate a trainer wanting to turn a horse back that maybe has some tactical speed or speed outright going long, going short, trying to get him to relax and kick on with it. This, to me, just seems odd. It also seems like a race where the race came up soft. They were hoping it came up soft, and maybe they can get a cheap victory here.
I closed it out with the 5 far from here is dropping a notch, setting the pace last time out, weakened late to finish 4th, beating 1.5 lengths. He's going to be part of that pace scenario up there today.
No thanks.
No thanks for you?
No thanks.
Let's take a short break, and then we'll come back and show you the Rainbow 6 ticket that I'm sure Pete does not agree with. So we'll take a break, and we'll be right back. Welcome back. That's Pete. I'm me. 6th race. 1 mile and 1/8 on the turf. Maiden special weight. 3-year-olds. 8 runners in the field. The rail setting 96 feet. Please mark that down. Let's show you my Rainbow Six ticket, and let's see Pete pick it apart. There you go. 2, 7, and 8. 1, 2, 5. 2 deep, 2 deep, 3 deep, 3 deep. $64.80. Why, Pete? I could not find a single in that sequence.
I understand not finding a single, and to be honest with you, you have the same top 3 as I do in race number 6. So no ridicule from the peanut gallery over here.
Not so far. We got another 6 races we got to talk about. So I started it off with number 7 in here, and that's Richmond Street. Should be primed and ready to offer more if they're sitting behind the pace. On that particular day, the turf course was really favoring speed, or at least it was in my estimation. Finished 6th, career debut at 1 mile and an 1/8 distance. Billy Mott, MCL Jaramillo, named on this Son of Streetcar. I want to go back and show you a stat real quick. Same horse Pete has on top from Bill Mott, and you'll see over the last 5 years, he's only has a 13% win average, 29% in the money, but a decent ROI of $1.98. That second career start, maiden special weight on the turf over the last 5 years. So we delve down deep, 13% only, Pete.
Well, that's a pretty specific statistic. I think more generally, everybody would agree, and actually anyone who follows Gulfstream Park or even New York racing on a regular basis, you know that Mott doesn't win first time, but if the horses run reasonably well first time, you can expect them to take a huge step forward second time. Such is the case here with the 7.
Yeah, I mean, he's the one to beat. I just wanted to put that stat out there. Number 7, Richmond Street. You went with the number 2 horse in here, Silver Beach, in second.
Well, he made your third Rainbow Six ticket, so that makes me feel better. This horse is coming out of the same race as Richmond Street, and I was happy to hear Ronnie comment on a bias on the turf course. That's good news because it certainly didn't help the Two's case in the debut. The blinkers come off here, had some trouble going into that first turn run. Trainer Christophe Lamont has Tyler Gaffleone in the riding assignment today. Good connections and good outfit for a race like this.
Yeah, I mean, $335,000 son of Tappet. The other horse that we used, and that's the 8 Stockyard. This is a half-brother to a multiple graded stakes performer called Winning Chords. Was a good 5th going a mile on the turf here back in February 20th. Going back to the grass today, got eased last time out. And on the main track, was it just didn't like the surface, or is there something we got to read into that?
Well, there's a couple different things. There's an old horse racing axiom that says don't bet on a horse to do something he's never done before. In the case of the 8 Stockyard, he'd never been a mile and an 1/8, and he'd never been on dirt. So that's 2 reasons to give him a pass. I'll do it here.
Okay, let's go to race number 7 this afternoon. And this one, 7 furlongs, maiden special weight. And we have the same 3 horses just flip-flop around. Pete, you started with the number 2, Eel.
Yeah, well, Eel is 3 to 5 on the morning line. That might be a bit bullish, but I can also certainly understand the logic here. You have Starlight Racing, you have Todd Pletcher, and you have Edgard Zayas. You also have the rest of the field. There's only 4 other ones in here. So, you know, as you know, Ron, you have to dial down the morning line on the shorter field. So you can appreciate the odds-on installment here of a Pletcher first-timer, especially when you look at the resumes of the other ones. If this horse is ready as Pletcher horses in South Florida usually are, could be lights out.
The concern I had was just the okay workout pattern up at Palm Beach Downs. So with that said, I put the number 5, Spikes Hill, on top of my ticket, who's stretching out the 7 furlongs. First start since returning from an 11-month layoff to finish 3rd behind the next out winner. That horse was called Magnifier. Went up and won a maiden special weight race at Aqueduct, I think, on March the 17th. And you know, he comes back. He made a special weight test on January 29th. So he's run, you know, pretty good in this thing. And I just thought off the layoff, this horse can run pretty good in there. Eel for all the reasons you mentioned. And then what about the 1 horse, Blind Ruckus? I find that the interesting one in here.
I agree with that. Blind Ruckus will be a good price for just a 5-horse field. I wouldn't be surprised to see this horse step up and run a big one. Von Herd horses are usually ignored at the windows. So that's a viable alternative if you think the 2's not ready and the 5 will bounce.
Yeah, and you know, Orlando Boca Chica handling its usually fruitful 3rd start back from a layoff.
Yeah, what did I say yesterday? Was that rule 108?
Yeah, 108. Or 8A maybe. Yeah. So let's go to race number 8 this afternoon. 6 furlongs, claimers, 4 and up, $6,250. Number 1, Duncan Ben on top of both our tickets. Let's go back and show you this horse's last race when he returned for home. And you'll see Duncan Ben. You'll see it is the number 9 that afternoon. And as they go home, this one gets pushed out wide on the turn here, and you'll see it happening very shortly. Gets pushed out by this horse to its inside, and you will notice that the winner will save all the ground and slip through a hole. They keep taking this horse out wide. The winner comes through on the inside and gets the job done. Change in barns today, so George Navarro off the claim. I just thought, and then he came back and run okay. The horse that won the race had all the momentum coming to home after the 9 was pushed out. Still managed to run okay and finished, I believe, second or third in that race. Third, maybe fourth. Goes back in there.
Yeah, actually ends up fourth. But that's, here's the thing about it. You're moving barns here today from Jose Garofalo to George Navarro.
No,
so at a minimum, you're going to get the same performance as you did last time out. And all things considered with the backtrack we just showed you, the last race, given a different set of circumstances, this horse wins.
Yeah.
For me, I think if you're playing the Rainbow Six or even the 50-cent late pick 5 and you need a single, this has to be the one.
Yeah, I almost did it. I almost did that. I was thinking of doing that, but I like the 6 horse in here, Smoking the Field, who's shortening up to 3/4 of a mile. 6 furlongs there. After a couple of solid outings against similar, going 7/8 of a mile, in which he was third last time out, but he was a hard-fought winner 2 races back on March 19th. And
that was the backtrack we just showed you.
Yeah, right. That's it. That was it. That was the one. Smoking the Field. That's right. I meant to tell you that in the race. So I just thought that this horse here sort of scared me, and that's why I added him to my ticket.
Well, here's the thing that's interesting, all things considered. We showed you that backtrack. If we had showed you the backtrack the last time he ran, maybe you're wise enough not to bet him at what was a little less than 3-1. He got a perfect trip 2 starts back. He didn't get that perfect trip last time out. That makes Duncan Ben look even better to me.
Yeah, and I closed it out with Total Account. He's turning back to its most accomplished distance, 21 races, 4 wins at the distance. This horse was on a scenic trip last time out. He finished a late closing 4th behind Smoking the Field, going 7 furlongs. So I just thought this horse, not to win it, I put this on my exacta trifecta ticket.
Yeah, I didn't. I just completed my exacta with a couple of horses I thought would be prices. The 7 Mystical Terp, who needs a huge form reversal, and the 2 Small Token. This is the type of horse that can complete the fringe of your exotics at a big price.
Well, let's go to race number 9, 7 1/2 furlongs on the turf. Claim is 4 and up, 12-5. Scratch the main track only. Number 10, right on ready. The rail setting here, 24 feet. And if you don't get these, don't forget that our track announcer, Gabe Pruitt, will update you on all those rail settings when we come back. And I knew if you were up there, it's a good chance you would have done it too. Here's a horse I like today. Lay it down. I got to make a best bet each and every day in the program, and this was it. Turning back to 7 1/2 furlongs after returning from the freshening to defeat the same caliber competition, one that raced by a nose when going a mile in his 16th. More importantly, I love the work that Jason Service has been doing. He's got Tyler Gaffney on in the saddle, and I looked at all the other horses in the race, and this one looked like a standout to me on that.
Based on buyers, based on form, based on anything conventional in the handicapping world, you're absolutely correct. And I like them too. I used them on top. I wasn't as enthused as you were, but there's only one reason why, and it's just personal preference. If you look at this horse's last 3 wins, they were by a neck, and a nose. I hate having to squeak it out like that.
Yeah, you want him to win by 22.
I'll take, well, not 22. I'll settle for 3 or 4 lengths, but Lay It Down always his game. He just, sometimes he gets there, sometimes he doesn't. So the number 1 horse, Tiger Bourbon, he has the same story, though. That's why I ended up going with the 9 on top.
Yeah, he's cutting back in distance. He's the son of Big Brown. He's still looking for his first victory. Now, remember this, he's had 13 races on this turf course, never had the victory, so 4 seconds in the third. Minecraft used in second, dropping a notch. He was 4th behind a pair of next out winners. It's Alfred McIntosh. He's pretty solid with second off the layoff, over 20%. And the horse is getting in light with C.J. McIntosh in the saddle.
Yeah, and the other thing we didn't say about Lay It Down, he loves this course. He's 7 for 10 in the money, 4 victories over this course too. So he'll be a heavy favorite. He'll be the likely single in everyone's pick 6 and pick 5.
Let's go to race number 10, 1 mile and 1/16. It's an allowance, optional claim at 3-year-olds and up, $62,500. 6 runners in the field. Pretty nice horses in this race. I like this race this afternoon.
This is a very interesting race because you have 3 of the 6 horses in here that, to me, clearly look like they're prepping for something else. The problem with that is 2 of those 3 horses will take 80% of the money here. So what do you do?
Apparently you went with the 6-horse Dynamic Impact on the outside, but I went with the 2 War Dancers, cutting back to 9 furlongs in the first start since dueling for the lead and weakening late. That was in the 12 furlong McKnight here on December 26th. boy, was that a key race. That one produced next out stakes winners. Charming Kitten won the Alan Jerkins. The big horse went and won the J.B. Conley, who's running today at Keeneland. I'm talking about the big horse. And the Manchurian High, as you know, won the Sunshine Millions Turf. So 3 horses come out of there. Billy Mott, when this horse has won more than $900,000. I think this is the horse to beat in here. But your theory that maybe they're prepping him for something else might be true.
That's certainly why I didn't use them. I really feel like the 2 and the 4 are prepping for something else. War Dancer has been better going a 3-turn trip, 1.5 mile type scenario. Yeah. He's not doing that today. He's going 1 1/8 miles. He is a horse with a lot of tactical speed, such is the case with the 4 Chamois. Is that what we're going to say?
Yeah, that sounds good.
I'm glad I'm not calling the races. I'm going to have to look all these horses up or call Larry Colmas. Chamois with Edgar Zayas and Christophe Clement. This is another horse. He hasn't been out since September. Looks to me like he's going to need one, prepping for something else.
Well, tell us about the 6 Dynamic Impact. I want to know now.
All right, well, let me tell you how we went. So we had the 3 prep horses, the 1, 2, and 4. I don't want to use any of them on top. The 5 is no way in the world that he can beat these type of horses, as he's stepping up from 16 to 62.5. Morning Calm doesn't have as much speed as Dynamic Impact, so Dynamic Impact will be in front of him early. You follow the logic now. Now we're defaulting to number 6, Dynamic Impact. But let me make a case without defaulting to him. He won over the turf course at Gulfstream Park West. He's only been on the turf twice. Those are the last 2 races. Last time out, he raced over a good course right here at Gulfstream Park during the Champions Meet. Took a ton of money and didn't run at all. Well, to me, he can get a pass because the good turf course, it's not easy sometimes. We're going to bring back the old slash, Ronnie. We used to say it. The cut in the ground is never easy to get over it, especially on this course. If you don't like it, you're not going to run well. Dynamic Impact gets a pass for that last one, and he's a graded stakes winner.
Wow, that is some fantastic logic you came up with there. I like it. You did a good job trying to figure it out. I don't agree with it, but I like it.
You sound like Ed Gray. You don't agree with it, but you like it.
Let's go to race number 11 this afternoon. 1 mile and 1/16 turf. Maiden claim is 3 and up. We do have scratch in here of the 1, the 9, the 10, and 11. The 9, the big morning line favorite in there, so change things around a little bit.
Check it out, Ronnie.
But
check it out.
Oh, we're exactly in agreement. Venezuelan success on top of our tickets. Let's go back and show you this horse's last race. He's between horses. I hope you can see it real good when he's turning for home in the race. This is him. You'll see him. He is in there, and he is the number 4 horse. And you will see when he makes the turn here as it goes through. Typically at Gulfstream, it's all about the trip on the turf course in here. And you'll see him between horses now. And he's trying to make a decent move in here. He'll slow down. You'll see him. He just stumbles really badly, gets shuffled back in there. I had to be perfectly honest, I had the 9, and watch it. The horse runs well after that. He doesn't win, but I just thought of that performance. Now, to be perfectly honest, I had the 9 on top of my ticket, but I just thought that this horse today, the 8, was the 4, ran okay. I don't know how, Pete, you called way more races than me, being I've called none, that what happens when a horse, stumbles like that? He loses all his momentum.
Absolutely, and he was in no man's land to begin with. Right. I'm glad. See, sometimes even I appreciate the backtrack runs, and I'm on the telecast.
Yeah, right.
I had not seen that race, and I'm really glad that we showed it because, man, that makes me feel all the more likely that number 8, Venezuelan Success, will win this race. He's clearly the one to beat, but man, what a great alibi he had last time out. He's in no man's land to begin with, so for me, who cares if he clips heels? Let's say he doesn't clip heels, still has no place to go, still has to clear or check his momentum up, and he then clips heels to make it even worse. So he's definitely the horse to beat in here. Miguel Vasquez will not make the same mistake he did there this time.
Yeah, number 2, Cold Blood is another stretching out to 1 mile and 8. He responded last time out to a drop down with a stalk and closed 3rd place finish against this caliber, going 7.5. He's a son of Flatter. Should be able to negotiate that added real estate.
Yes, he was 3rd last time out, but the race was not all that good, at least by standards of maiden 12.5. This is one of the things that, for me, I just absolutely love it about South Florida racing. You can run maiden 12.5s on the grass going the same trip. You have 5 races, and 3 of the 5 will have completely different caliber horses than the other 2. And that would be the case for me here between the 8 and the 2. I think the 2 is the best of the rest, but especially off that backtrack, Venezuelan Success for me.
Well, what about this 6? I want to hear about Thunder of Fleet, who happens to be my long shot.
I was just going to say, it's your long shot play of the day. You're the one that's on the streak.
Well, I want to hear your reasoning here. This one is the only time this horse tried the turf. was off the layoff, and it was against much better. It was $35,000 maiden. So we're going to put a line through that race. Then they come back and they put him in a 12.5. He runs decently in third. So we find his level now. That was on the dirt. But I think you put a line through that turf race, was overmatched. And I'm thinking any progression here, I like to get a bit of a price with this horse. I don't know what he is on the morning line, 10-1. If he's 10-1, I think you give this horse, you put a line through that turf race, like I said, or at least I am. Go off that 12.5 on the dirt. And maybe that he moves forward today and wins on the turf. And it's Nick Canani, good connections there.
Yeah, go with what I was just going to say. Ronnie officially took anything I could possibly add to that and now mentioned it for himself. So I have nothing to add to that. Jonathan Gonzalez has the call on Thunder of Fleet, and he is your long shot play of the day. Fans, if you're not paying attention, we need to build a graphic sometime and say Ronnie's long shot play is with an ROI, because, you know, we have all these fancy statistics over the last 5 years.
Right.
You know, horses have run 4 times in 6 months over the last 5 years. Let's look at your long shot statistics of the day. The ROI there is definitely at least $3.
It's got to be. I mean, I don't know. But once we make the graphic, none will ever win again. You know that.
That's part of the reason I want to make it.
Yeah, that's the racing gods that do that up there. Well, Pete and I are going to be back later on today. We're going to turn it over to Gabe Pruitt. Anything else to add before we sign off?
I just wanted to say Murphy's Law is a wonderful thing. Our director, Ben, has given us an extra 5 minutes to talk, and we're getting done exactly 5 minutes early. So that's absolutely perfect.
Isn't that great? Well, good luck, everybody. We'll be back in just a bit.